Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. We made it through the week and we're ready to tell you all the news stories you need to know before the weekend so you don't have to worry about it. This is the one and only international game show, Before Coffee, the father and daughter podcast, where we look up our stories 10 to 15 minutes before we've started. We've just got caffeine in our bodies, and we're learning to breathe live on stream. So, let's get into today's headlines.
Can almost talk. Yeah.
Today on Friday's News Dump. The decision has been made. Groningen is getting an AI factory. And Hungarian spies in Brussels. EU investigation into Orban's Secret Service.
And greetings and happy Friday from the United States, where the United States is now apparently sending 200 troops to Israel, and one of the world's largest continents is splitting apart.
Ursula von der Leyen survives no confidence votes at European Parliament. And NASA's lost scientific equipment lands in West Texas wheat field.
And the Nobel Peace Prize has been announced, and it's going to a South American woman. We'll find out who.
In my culture news, Dolly Parton addresses ill health rumors and reassures fans, I ain't dead yet.
Nope, she doesn't sound dead. And it's National Metric Day. That's right. 28 grams of prevention is worth 0.45 kilograms of cure. Sorry, almost screwed that up. It's October 10th, 2025 on Before Coffee.
We gotta prevent.
I can do this jockey voice. I'm gonna do this jockey voice today.
If you want to.
It's Jam and Jim.
Are we gonna also have some really good ad reads that you flow into?
Ad reads? Yeah.
That's what disc jockeys are really good for. They're like right after a song comes on, they go, and that was the Talking Heads. You know, with burning down the house, you know what's a great way to not have your house burned down? Our new sponsor, the insurance company for houses get burned down. That's right.
We need to put that on the Segway wheel, man. Segue into a fake commercial.
Read out an ad
That's
for
awesome.
nobody
That's an awesome
that sponsors
idea.
us.
You have a highly developed mind. Absolutely. It's like, wow, they're sponsoring. We got to get on board with those sponsorships. I mean, that's what Saturday Night Live did at first.
If you really want to do something,
ads,
since you have so much free time, is you can email a bunch of people saying, please sponsor our podcast.
I'll contact local businesses and they'll watch me and say, I want to be associated with that. I can do that. I could definitely do that. Just call up local businesses. The place where I buy weed, right? Hey, want to sponsor a show? Only $10 a month you can sponsor our show. That's it.
I don't think local businesses will care about an internet podcast, but okay. It'd work better if you were doing something locally to begin with.
They channel their customers there, and we all just kind of feed off each other. That's kind of how it works a little bit, you know. It's customers, again, stoners have a lot of shit where they just sit there and stare at the wall. And why not listen to our podcast for an hour, right?
All right.
And we did hire a new correspondent this week. Hacky McBonghit, which I could do as a character if you wanted, but here's our new correspondents on the herbal cures of the world. Old Hacky McBonghit. And so let's spin the wheel. And I can segue into a commercial if you want me to. I can segue into a commercial if I don't like it, right? The wild card option. Wild card. We should put a wild card up there too. Pick whatever you want.
It's crazy. I just heard the wheel spin, but I didn't see it spin.
I never see it spin.
That's an interesting interaction.
Yeah.
I've not seen before on
It's a good thing I'm completely AI because, hey, all of this would be really hard to take.
All right. Now what's going on?
That's it. We'll call ourselves AI, and then we'll get sued for false advertising. And that'll be a news story.
To get sued?
It's absolute nonsense. Lawsuit will be thrown out by the courts.
Oh.
All we gotta do is say fueled by AI.
Do with that after it exists.
All we gotta do is say fueled by AI. What the hell does fueled mean? It means I use AI to look shit up, which everybody does. I also use AI for spell check. So
fueled by
AI all the time. Yeah. So they can't really sue us. I'm just saying that. It would be a frivolous lawsuit, but we would get publicity. Google sues for them claiming their AI created the show. I'm like, no, we never claimed Google did that. We said we use Google AI. Look shit up. And then we try to verify it as an actual fact and find out, hey, Google isn't doing the research. They're just going by whatever some idiot said.
It's a fascinating hypothetical, but your actual segue is a haiku. So you're going to have to write me two haikus.
To me, that's a challenge.
Story, which is more local news. Because it's about the Netherlands, but it's about Groningen, which is a kind of west/north city. They're getting an AI factory, according to, I guess, a decision. The European Union has made a decision, to put a factory here. This is on NOS, which is a Dutch newspaper. Groningen is getting an AI factory and a supercomputer. The European Union is investing over 71 million euros in the project, securing its full funding. With contributions from the national government and the Nijmegen economic agenda, the total investment will reach approximately 200 million euros. An artificial intelligence AI expertise center is being established in the city. The AI factory will be located in the former Nijmegen building on Potterwoldweg. The striking building, a symbol of the long-standing tobacco industry, will thus be given a new lease on life as a breeding ground for something else that ruins humanity. Those were my words, not the articles. Hey, we got rid of tobacco to replace it with, well, who needs to think, craft brains? We have AI now. With European contributions, Groningen joins the Euro HPC network, a European collaboration with other AI factories. Last year, the EU announced its intention to invest in supercomputers to reduce its dependence on tech giants from the United States and China. Plans for the AI factory have been on the table for some time. The government previously allocated 70 million euros. Another 60 million is available from the Nijmegen economic agenda. With European contributions, the project is now fully funded and implementation can begin. The AI factory is intended to be a place where researchers, businesses, and governments collaborate on smart applications of artificial intelligence, like, for example, the stories we did on Tuesday, where they discovered an antibiotic sequence for bowel symptoms, and what was the other thing? I think it was another AI that develops something for something else. But that's what these things do, right? Maybe we can use AI to develop a cure to this. The expertise center is expected to open mid-2026. The supercomputer being built should be operational in early 2027. The province is still looking for a suitable location for it. So they found one location, but they need to build another one. Hope that this building already exists. They probably need to get it up to code, but it's easier to already build in a building that has a building. Build in a building, then build a completely new building on land that's never been made for land. Also, hello, Omlin. Thank you for claiming the first medal and getting your daily elixir. I hope you're having a happy Friday. And also, I didn't say hello to Dubalno, who was here earlier. Good afternoon and good morning.
Everybody.
I hope you're having a good Friday as well. Dubalno. I don't even know how that's how you say your name, but Dubalno is how I read it. Do you have a haiku? Or was that too short?
I have two haikus.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, it wasn't. I have two haikus. First one, it says, greetings, Mr. Bot. Your office is now ready. Next to the wind farm. Because they put on wind farms just so they can power garbage AI shit. Yeah. So whoop-de-doo for all the
like I said, to be fair, this isn't generative AI. This is
okay. I got it.
I mean, some of it might be. Some of it might be. I'm not, denying the fact, but there's good AI and there's bad AI, and this is supposed to be the good stuff, supposedly.
I'm counting the syllables for this one. Hey, it checks out. Corporations' new scam to inflate stock value. It's a circle jerk. But anyway, there's your.
It's a circle jerk, baby.
Yeah. Well, it's the story of Wall Street is a circle jerk. Overinflating stocks and then taking profits and watching it crash while the common investor can't pull out fast enough and all of his money goes away. And you're like, oh shit. Hope I can sell this.
Who invented the stock market? The Dutch. So.
Yeah, with their tulips factories, right?
I say we. The Dutch invented capitalism, so they're to blame for all of our problems.
Overinflating the value of tulip bulbs that were not even actually flowers; they were underground. Crazy, right?
Yeah, I don't remember the entire story. I just remember watching like a history documentary about it or something, right?
I remember it was a big thing on. There was a podcast I used to listen to. That's how I learned all about it. It was a podcast, Radio Lab. That one. Yeah, great podcast. Anyway, yours.
My next story is a little longer, and it's about Hungarian spies in Brussels. That's right, the guy who can't leave the EU because he needs the EU to even have a running country, hates it with all his heart and wants to join the Russian Federation. So now he's sending spies into Brussels to, I guess, funnel information for his own use? Maybe to give to Russia or China or something? Who knows? Let's read the actual story because I'm just making stuff up right now. This is from Valerio Catano on Il Fatto Quotidiano, an Italian paper. The two met in a Brussels park. On one side, a high-ranking European Commission official. On the other, a Hungarian diplomat. The former spoke of a friendly conversation on a monthly basis. Yes, it's true. His interlocutor seemed to be seeking gossip about the activities of the 27, and yes, of course, after a few conversations, he had realized that the diplomat was a spy for Viktor Orban's Hungarian government. He was indeed 007 from Budapest, so much so that he drafted a report in which he assigned the EU Commission official the title of Secret Agent of the Hungarian Foreign Intelligence Service, Informaciós Hivatal IH. Today, the European Commission announced that it has opened an investigation into whether Orban sent his spies to Brussels to gather information on the EU's activities and recruit officials into his ring. The person involved in the conversations at the park clarified that he had not signed documents and that the agent had offered him money in exchange for information which he had refused. The story was revealed in a report by several newspapers, Der Spiegel, The Tide, and Direct 36, Germany, Belgium, and Hungary. The reporters concluded that Budapest's Secret Service agents, disguised as diplomats, attempted to infiltrate European institutions during the mandate of Olivier Vahely, the current European Commissioner for Animal Welfare, Health and Welfare, as ambassador to Brussels. Yeah, tell me about the animals, and by the animals I mean your fellow diplomats. Oh, the rest of the article is in Italian, which I can't read. Here we go. The rumored meeting in the park took place between 2015 and 2017. Reporters believe that one of the two actors was a Hungarian intelligence agent, whose identity had not been revealed, claimed to have held a cover position at the Department of Cohesion Policies of the Hungarian Embassy. Politico requested comment from the Hungarian authorities and Olivier Vahely, but was unable to receive it. The issue is delicate. EU spokesperson Balázs Ujvari is keen to point out that the Commission takes these actions very seriously and reiterates its commitment to protecting Commission officials and networks from illicit espionage. The fact that the 07 was Hungarian increases Brussels' concern. It is no secret that Hungarian Prime Minister Orban has repeatedly obstructed decisions regarding the EU 27's response to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. On the 29th of September, during the celebrations, for the 130th anniversary of Mardia Valia Bridge over the Danube, alongside Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico, Orban reiterated, "Like the empires of the past that paralyzed us, the EU has now become a war project nobly aimed to defeat Moscow on the Eastern Front." Okay, dude. It became an Eastern Front because Russia started invading countries! By the way!
Uh-huh.
Oh, God. Yeah, this guy's living in his own fucking dreamland. Oh, they're trying to get Moscow. You mean the people who attacked first? There's my story, anyways. There's more Victor and Oban. Complete and total disregard of reality. Yep, you're right. The EU is invading Moscow. I only wish somebody would kick Putin off of his throne. But the EU will never invade anyone. They're not built on being an invasion force at all. That's why they don't have their own army. You got your haiku?
Ooh, yeah. Hungary spy caught. Snooping for Viktor Orban. Put in by Putin.
Question mark? Yeah.
Put in by Putin. Anyway, that's a little kind of spelt the same, those two words.
They are completely spelt the same way, actually, I would argue.
Yeah. I suspect the Russia spies everywhere because that's what they do. They're really good at it. Yeah. Because, first of all, Americans are susceptible to stupid lies as long as they support your point of view. Which everybody is, but it's especially Americans in our free press which the free press is owned by like 3 corporations now. So let's get on with today's news about other shit.
Yeah, let's roll our segue wheel.
I got all reminiscent today about Vietnam, but I wasn't there when it started, but I remember how it started. It started with us sending troops we're going to monitor the situation.
Reminds me of a song.
Reminds you of a song. That's right. This is from military.com. So it's a paper that writes about the military. I'm hoping that they're honest. U.S. sending about 200 troops to Israel to help support and monitor ceasefire deal in Gaza. The United States is sending about 200 troops to Israel to help support and monitor the so-called ceasefire deal in Gaza as part of a team that includes partner nations, non-governmental organizations, and private sector players, U.S. officials said on Thursday. The officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity discussed the details not authorized to release. Said the U.S. Central Command is going to establish a civil-military coordination center in Israel to help facilitate the flow of humanitarian aid, as well as logistical and security assistance into the territory racked by 2 years war. The remarks provide some of the first details on how the ceasefire deal will be monitored, and the U.S. military would have a role in that effort. The role will be to be targets. That's our role. We're going to be targets, and as soon as we're attacked, there's going to be another excuse to go on another round of bombing and killing. But let's get back to the story.
They killed American soldiers. You guys need to get angry about it so that we can bomb them back.
Don't forget the movie Black Hawk Down. Like 5 Americans died in Somalia. They made a whole freaking gigantic movie about it. A few years later, we had Americans dying by the thousands and nobody gave a shit. It's weird how that happens, right? It depends on who's in power and who gets outraged. Yeah. Oh, let's make a movie about that. Let's get back to the story. This says echoes of Vietnam. After Israel and Hamas agreed to the first phase of a Diaper Donnie administration plan to halt the fighting, a litany of questions remain on next steps, including Hamas disarmament, a withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza, and the future government in the territory.
Those fireworks away from them.
That's right. Yeah, let's just go send American troops in there.
Bombs them, they won't even have fireworks to shoot back.
Let's do what we did in Lebanon. Let's put American troops in there and tell them we can't defend ourselves. Let's do that. That's what Reagan did. One of the officials said that the new team will help monitor implementation of the ceasefire agreement and transition to a civilian government in Gaza. The coordinating center will be staffed by about 200 U.S. service members with expertise in transportation, Oh boy, Motor T. There you go. A bunch of truck drivers are going over there to get blown up by terrorists. Way to go. We're gonna get all drawn into this. You can see these telegraphed from 75 miles away. This is trying to get us involved in an entanglement to change the headlines. Release the Epstein files, in other words. The Coordination Center will be set.
See, Trump is so good as a president because he did this one singular thing. So, forgive all the rest he's ever done.
Yeah, it seems like a noble gesture again, but again, we are going to see the fruit of the labors in terrorism because they're putting these guys in there to be sitting ducks and to further escalate a war. The Coordination Center will be staffed by 200 U.S. service members of experts in transportation, planning, security, logistics, and engineering. Hopefully, security logistics will be the only people there. And that's the only thing and the security from who? The Israelis, right? Not the Israelis are the ones bombing these food places.
And starving them and not letting them have water. And all these things are happening, right?
Yeah. And again, the United States says we're not going in there until as soon as America's on the ground, the ceasefire will be declared over, and all shit will break loose. I can see it already. We can see it happening from just saying. Anyway, a second official said troops would come from the U.S. Central Command as well as other parts of the globe. The official added that the troops already have begun arriving and will continue to travel in the region over the weekend to begin planning on efforts to establish a center. Breakthrough deal supposedly pause the war was reached on Wednesday. The United States and mediators region pressured both Israel and Hamas to end the fighting as devastated the Gaza Strip, killed tens of thousands of Palestinians and other conflicts sparked other conflicts and isolated Israel. Yeah, Israel stopped, bombing everybody. We trying to figure out what the hell their point was. What's the point of all this bombing? I guess there's terrorists everywhere, but we should just kill innocent people because there's terrorists everywhere. Doesn't seem like a sustainable plan for peace to me. Anyway, there's your story. I'll get into a longer story. Hopefully I can cut that one a little bit shorter.
Okay, and I have a song for you, which is kind of an easy one to guess, but here you go.
All right, here you go.
I watched with glee while your kings and queens fought for 10 decades for the gods they made. I shouted out, who killed the Kennedys? When after all, it was you and me. Let me please introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste, and I laid traps for troubadours who get killed before they reach Bombay. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. Deal with the Devil. Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones. That's
Sympathy for the Devil. Yes, sir. Sympathy for the Devil, of course. His name is Man, not the Devil.
Yeah, a lot of people that's exactly guess. What the third verse is saying.
Is Man.
You killed the Kennedys.
Every verse. Yeah. Every verse is kind of saying it. It's like, okay, first of all, he said for the God they made, which should be a clue. It's like, you invented me, you invented that God that you're fighting over.
And then you blame me for all your problems, because God forbid you take consequences of your own actions. Yeah.
As heads as tails, just call me Lucifer, because I'm in need of some restraint. Right? That's right. Exactly. I'm not that powerful. It was the devil. But a lot of people don't even know what that means, right? They hear the lyrics and they go, yeah. I'm like, no, actually, he's telling you the opposite. It's not the devil. It's not his name. It's in the title. I mean, guessing his name shouldn't be hard if it's in the title, but that's not his name. Anyway, sorry. Next story. I'm talking way too much again. Moonandgarden.com has a story.
The Rolling Stones.
Moon and Garden. I never heard of this magazine before, our website. Moon and Garden, not Home and Garden. Moonandgarden.com has a story about one of the world's largest continents is splitting apart and a new ocean merges faster than scientists expected. A new ocean. We could name it. We give it a name. Let's call it Billy. Billy Ocean. Get it? And thank you. Hey, everybody. He's a famous Caribbean singer. Sorry. You don't know that. I should be getting a round of applause for that joke. A little slow in the uptake. Beneath the plains of East Africa, the ground is quietly changing the shape. GPS stations, satellite radar, and field geologists now track subtle tears that lengthen year after year as faults step down and magma prise the crust apart. Valleys sink. Did I give the person's name? I did not. It's Celine Probin is the author for this. This is What looks like solid rock is slowly loosening its grip, hinting at coastlines not yet drawn. Scientists say the continental drift could, over time, open a new ocean, reshaping borders, resources, and risk. The East African Rift stretches more than 3,000 kilometers from Ethiopia's Afar region through Kenya and Tanzania to Mozambique. Here, the African plate divides into the Nubian block on the west and the Somali block on the east. Scientists compare the setting to a living laboratory because every fault, dike, volcanic field shows change. Heat rising from the deep mantle rock of this lithosphere, so stresses cracks the crust. Magma wedges into these cracks, then cools to form new rock. This is how oceans began. The process mirrors the early Atlantic, which opened after South America drifted from Africa about 180 million years ago and plate boundaries reorganized. Rift widening sounds tiny in a few millimeters per year, yet the math adds up. Over millions of years, those millimeters become hundreds of kilometers. That's why specialists say the seeds of a new ocean already exist between Eastern Africa. The land flexes, the ground shakes, and valleys sink as blocks slip and rotate. As far as the rift meets the Red Sea, let's try that again, my eyes are getting blurry. At afar, the rift meets the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden in a rare triple junction. These three plates, boundaries, intersect, so spreading, faulting, and volcanism stack together. This crossroad hosts frequent earthquakes, young lava flows, which outline the direction the crust is pulling. NASA imagery tracks these changes season after season. Beneath the surface, magma intrusions open vertical fractures called dikes. These dikes push rock sideways, while shallow faults step down to form long valleys. Over time, the valley floors drop and thin. When the seawater finally spills in, a narrow basin becomes a spreading ridge. The cycle shifts from continental rifting to seafloor growth. Christopher Schultz, a geophysicist at Syracuse University, frames East Africa as a front-row view of continental breakup. His point resonates because researchers combine GPS, radar, interferometry, and field geology to watch the shifts as they happen. These tools, supported by work from the Geological Society of America and the U.S. Geological Survey, tighten timelines and illuminate early ocean birth. People already noticed the rift at the surface. In 2018, a several-kilometer fissure emerged in southwestern Kenya, severing roads and fields. Intense rainfall helped reveal it, yet subsequent investigations connected the fracture to deeper tectonics. The incident demonstrated how rapidly ground can shift when a fault ruptures under stress and water. After the Afar Depression in Ethiopia, the frequent eruptions and clusters of minor tremors indicate zones where magma ascends. Black basalt flows cool into ropey textures and fresh plates of rock. These features mapped from space and checked on the ground match the rift's geometry. They also outline the future shorelines as low areas that keep sinking. Let's skip down a little bit. Rates matter, so scientists quantify them carefully. The rift widens by a few millimeters each year. Modest to the eye and decisive through geologic time, if present trends hold, many researchers expect seawater to flood parts of the Rift Valley in roughly 5 to 10 million years. So don't get your surfboards ready yet. It's not happening in your lifetime. Earth never stands still. This is a summation of the article. I'm sorry, what that?
That is your joke. Don't get your surfboards ready yet.
I gotta laugh. Okay. Earth never stands still, and East African Rift proves it with numbers, maps, and lived experience. The land pulls apart millimeter by millimeter, and researchers watch and communities adapt. One day, the tides may roll across the valley and fill a basin that becomes a new ocean. Until then, knowledge, care, and bold planning can turn risk into resilience. Bold planning? Yeah, plan for that thing that's going to happen in 5 million years, for God's sake. Store up your water. I don't know. Where's your segue?
My segue is another song. Of course, this one's easy. I feel the waves down in Africa. They're gonna topple very high on a surfboard. Can you feel the waves down in the what is it? East and West Africa, I guess. Wait, did you say where it's going to split? Is it going to be north, south, or east, west?
Tanzania. It's kind of an angle.
Oh, okay. So over, like, there's like a fault line that it'll split at, basically.
Shoot.
Where is Tanzania? I really need to like take a course.
I'm in the wrong article. I already closed the article. I typically close articles when I close when I.
Okay, so Tanzania.
Kenya, all of the northern part of Africa. It's all northern. We know that. Or
like Tanzania is okay. I see. Yeah, right. It's on the western side of Africa. Ish.
Yeah, but it goes at kind of an angle, man.
But yeah, it goes into.
I can find you the article.
So basically, kind of that area. If anybody knows what Africa looks like, there's that area where it kind of does like a hook next to where Saudi Arabia is and Yemen and stuff. That area, right? That stuff will separate from the continent. Thousands, millions of years from now, we won't be here to see it, and we'll do it very slowly. So
there's a valley that's valleying.
Yeah, it's going to be a valley.
It's going to fill with water at some point, and here come the fish. Yay, fish!
Woohoo! We can all eat. Okay, let's go. Our next segue. What do we got? What do we got for the segue? Be cool if I had like a cool jiggle playing. Associate. You have to associate my stories with something. And my next story is going to be about... Well... Ursula von der Leyen survived a no-confidence vote again. I think she's had several now since she's been... She just got elected, I think, last year or this year? The election happened and people are already trying to force her out because, I don't know. I'm sure the article will tell me. This is on AP News
ADHD, man.
Who is this by? It's by AP News. It doesn't tell me who's written the article. Coming out of Brussels. The European Union's top official comfortably survived Thursday, the 8th? Yeah, sorry, the 9th of October. 2 more votes of no confidence as an overwhelming number of EU lawmakers rejected censure measures against her. In the votes on European Commission President, 378 lawmakers rejected a far-right censor motion. So, you already can see who's causing this turmoil in the EU, with 179 in favor and 37 abstaining. On a far-left motion, 383 lawmakers voted against it, with 133 in support and 78 abstentions. So both times it was the far reaches of our political spectrum, right and the left, voted to get her ousted, or I should say censor motion, which I think is not the same thing. Let me make sure I know what that is. Censor is, it's just a disapproval and an official rebuke. So they're just saying, on an official statement, nothing personal against you, we think you're a shitty commission president, get out of here. We don't want you to be here anymore. No confidence vote. Von der Leyen has survived 3 no confidence votes in a year since beginning her second 5-year term at the helm of the EU's powerful executive branch. She is the first commission chief to face any such votes in more than a decade. I wonder why. The commission proposes EU laws and supervises whether those that enter into force are respected. It also manages trade on behalf of the 27 member countries and is Europe's top competition regulator. The Nationalist Patriots for Europe political group insists that migration has exploded under von der Leyen's leadership and threatens our identity and security. Other beings are coming into our country. We're gonna die. You're gonna be just fine. Just like the thousands and thousands of previous years where random humans have come in and gone, and you've gone places, and you've taken them back, and now we're acting like it's a big deal. We've been doing it this whole time. Its members say she's abandoned farmers and consumers, jeopardizing food safety with pro-environment policy. Not this shit again, too. What do you mean I can't poison our local water source with my cattle shit? I want to do
Don't
that.
You realize
I want to have 5,000 cows in 1 acre of land. You're ruining my business. The left group blames her. I'm being hyperbolic, of course. That's not actually what's happening, but
yeah. I'm the guy in the back.
It's a thing. I'm playing the victim, right? They're playing the victim, saying, "Hey, you can't regulate me because then I'll lose money." Okay. Why should I care if you lose money or not? I'm just the government. You need to care about my personal vendetta against wind turbines. Left groups blame her for signing off on a number of detrimental trade deals, which, yet again, the left is all about labor and, getting work done and having that work. And if you're not getting good work, that sucks. And failing to act against Israel's government's systematic violations of international law in Gaza. What's the point of having international law if we don't say, hey, you're going to get punished for that. You broke the international law, right? But von der Leyen was backed by the big pro-Europe centrist groups during the votes in Strasbourg, France. They hold a majority in the assembly and accuse the fringe groups from left and right of political spectrum of using the censor motions for political point scoring. But the votes have been a lightning rod for criticism of von der Leyen. Everyone's allowed to be criticized here, right? I don't know, this is probably the populism talking, right? But somewhere, I don't know when, because I haven't been alive that long, people decided that your leaders have to be perfect. And if they're not perfect, they deserve to be kicked off of power, right? That's it, right? You made one bad decision or 10 bad decisions under your 5-year tenure as the commission president. You don't deserve to be a leader ever again, right? You're allowed to criticize her. I think that's allowed. Saying she should get kicked out of power for such things is crazy. I mean, I wish it was that easy, You didn't tell Israel they can't commit genocide, so get out of power. We'll put somebody who will do nothing to. You can't. I'm just saying that European Union doesn't have the power, and this is a fact. They do not have the power to enforce any of the things that they do. Right, because
what are you going to do? Invade these countries?
27 countries in the Union.
Send a cop over there. Send a cop over there and arrest them.
Yeah, the issue is if Germany and Austria agree that whatever Israel is doing is fine, but then France and Spain say no, well, that's just too bad. The European Union cannot take a side when their member states themselves can't take sides, right?
Isn't it lovely? They have an opinion on this. Well, we'll take note. We'll take note.
Well, their own countries, right? As Germany, as Ireland, as Spain, right? They can make whatever decisions they want about that particular thing. But she's leader of a trade union, really, right? That's what she's a leader of. And she can say, that's bad, Israel. You shouldn't do that, and that's all she can do as the leader of a trade union. But voters have been a lightning rod for criticism of von der Leyen, who led the EU drive to find vaccines for all citizens of all 27 countries during the pandemic, and her center-right European People's Party, which is the largest political family in the Assembly. They're accused of cozying up to the hard right to push through their political agenda. Yeah, why can't they cozy up to the far left? I don't know why we should feel alienating the far right when they're alienating everyone else. But that's my shorter story about that.
I make it my mission to alienate the far right. I associate. You said associate. Yes. I associate this with American farmers and their constant bitching, especially since they're not producing food that we eat. Right? They're producing soybeans as a cash crop where they take the money and put it in their pocket. And they're bitching because Trump raised tariffs and they voted for Trump. And Trump is deporting workers who work on the farms. And they voted for Trump, but they don't blame him. Who are they blaming? They're blaming China. Wow, look at that. China is looking out for their best interests for the first time ever.
The villain of the world strikes again, along with Iran and Russia.
I can't believe China's thinking about their best interests and not thinking about these farmers raising these useless crops that Americans don't use for anything. But they're getting a bailout. That's what I associate it with. People complaining that their easy ride is over with and wanting a bailout from the government. frustrating as hell to listen to these socialists want their socialism.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was looking for a video.
And I'm not saying like the left
thing.
and the left isn't guilty of also, being very stubborn in their things. I'm just a leftist, okay? So of course I'm going to agree with everything. I'm biased. I agree with everything the leftists want. I want the environment to live. I want people to have jobs, and I don't want people struggling. But that's a crazy concept.
Right. I don't understand why you want other people to be poor or other people to be in prison, unless you're like heavily invested in the prison industry or something. But it doesn't really serve any purpose other than punishing people for your own enjoyment. What is that? That's sadism.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're proud of your sadism.
So you have to suffer too. It's not fair.
Yeah. Oh, huh? I think it's why people like slasher movies. I was like, why do you like slasher movies? I don't get it. Well, you see them people are making out. They deserve to die. Really? That's all we got here, man.
Yeah, that stuff is crazy. Let's not go into that. Okay, I have another story.
I hate slasher movies. Yeah.
Which is about NASA. This is completely unrelated to everything we're talking about. Somebody found a lost scientific equipment from NASA in their wheat field. This is from Sean Murphy on AP News. When Ann Walter looked outside her rural West Texas home, she didn't know what to make of a bulky object slowly drifting across the sky. She was even more surprised to see that what actually landed in her neighbor's wheat field, a boxy piece of scientific equipment about the size of a sport utility vehicle attached to a massive parachute. Adorned with NASA stickers, she called the local sheriff's office and learned that NASA indeed was looking for a piece of equipment that had gone lost. Lucky them. It's crazy because when you'll she's from Texas. It's crazy because when you're standing on the ground and see something in the air, you don't realize how big it is, she said. There's probably a 30-foot parachute. It was huge.
Wow.
Walter said she soon got a call from NASA's Columbia Scientific Balloon Facility, which launches large, unmanned, high-altitude research balloons more than 20 miles into the atmosphere to conduct scientific experiments. Officials at NASA, which is impacted by the ongoing government shutdown, did not return the messages Thursday. A message left with the balloon facility also was not immediately returned. A launch schedule on the balloon's facility website shows a series of launches from Fort Sumner, New Mexico, about 140 miles, 225 kilometers west of where the equipment landed. What did you want to say?
Aha. I want to say that's not too far from Roswell.
Uh-oh, the aliens! Hale County Sheriff David Corcoran confirmed that NASA officials called his office last week in search of the equipment. Walter said she ultimately spoke with someone at the balloon facility who told her it had been launched a day earlier from Fort Sumner and uses telescopes to gather information about stars, galaxies, and black holes. The researchers came out with a truck and trailer and they used it to pick it up, she said. But not before Walter and her family, who live in Edmondson, Texas, were able to capture some photos and videos. It's a kind of surreal that it happened to us, that I was part of it, she said. It was a very cool experience. And of course, there is a picture of them with the, it's a pretty big thing. It's I would say it's about 3 people long, 1 person high. Pretty big thing to just land in your wheat field. They got the picture here, which I will not show you, but I will describe to you, is her and her husband. He's in sunglasses, and they have their dog. They're like, it looks like some sort of pit bull pug mix.
Right.
Just sitting there going, what the hell is this shiny thing? Because it's a very shiny, it's a, what do you have? It has a reflective coating on it, right? For the sun rays.
Well, it's probably got titanium on it. If it's going to space, it would have titanium on it.
No, it's high altitude, not space.
Just high altitude? Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
But I think they put heat absorbing material, reflective material, so it doesn't burn up when it goes through the atmosphere. The high altitude atmosphere.
Yeah, the high altitude, right. They probably tested it thousands of things before they got it right. And this one went wrong, apparently, right?
Yeah, I mean, like they said, they shoot a bunch of them every day. So this one, you gotta get a failure at some point. That's
we need more space junk. Yeah. Oh, I was supposed to associate this with, I don't know, just finding Superman. Shit. Right, Superman. Yeah. I already associated it with Roswell. Oh, it's coming out of Fort Sumner. I thought Fort Sumner was closed, right? I thought it was just an old fort from like
really?
way back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the name of a town. Fort Sumner, New Mexico. It's where Billy the Kid was shot.
Really?
But
cool.
yeah.
It says here Fort Sumner was abandoned in 1869 and then purchased by a rancher and cattle baron, Lucian Maxwell. Then he rebuilt it into an officer's quarters, into a 20-room house. Maxwell's daughter, Polita, was killed by Billy the Kid. And then that's where they also shot him, because I guess he's holed up there. It's a very,
according to legend,
place because of this. Yeah, that's cool.
But now NASA is launching things from there.
And now it's referred to now as the Maxwell House. You know, I think they're talking about the town Fort Sumner is where they're shooting off the balloons from, not the actual fort itself, I guess.
Yeah. They're up to something out there in the middle of nowhere. Let's put it that way. Yeah, all right, let's do the next spin.
Next spin.
They're up to something.
Where's? Oh, I don't know if I've ever been to that place, that area.
We've driven through there.
I've been to everywhere in New Mexico just because I was born there and I lived there for 8 years.
It's not that far from Tucumcari, which is on I-40. It's not that far.
Our next segue is a bad pun, and I'll think of a good one for you for your story.
All right, this Nobel Prize is being awarded. All the prizes, Nobel Prizes this week, and we're going to talk about the big one, the one that people get for just being.
This guy.
The one you get for being peaceful. If you can name a Nobel Prize laureate, it's usually a Peace Prize person like Desmond Tutu or Gandhi or somebody. The Nobel
Obama won one supposedly, so
Obama won one way premature. I don't think he expected it. I don't even think he thought he deserved it. But whatever.
Congratulations,
what do?
You fixed racism in America.
It's fixed forever. You want it as a symbol.
That's what people thought, anyways. Back for anyone who wasn't alive when Obama got elected,
the only reason
everyone was saying we solved racism.
Exactly. Oh my God. It's all over for now. That's what the right wing said, by the way. We elected a black president. We can turn hard right. I can turn hard right now, and nobody cares. And recruit a bunch of people that hate black people because they're all triggered by it. Okay, the Norwegian Nobel Committee. It said Sweden, I think, yesterday. It's actually Norway. The Norwegian Nobel Committee has decided to award the Nobel Peace Prize for 2025 to Maria Corina Machado. She has received the Nobel Prize for her tireless work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela and for her struggle to achieve just and peaceful transition from dictatorship to democracy. As a leader of the democracy movement in Venezuela, Ms. Corina Machado is one of the most extraordinary examples of civilian courage in Latin America in recent times. Oh, by the way, this story is from the nobelprize.org. Yeah, the actual people making the award, so they're explaining themselves. This ain't some secondhand news. Let's do this again. This is precisely what Ms. Machado has been a key unifying figure in the political opposition that is once deeply divided, an opposition that found common ground in the demand for free elections and representative government. This is precisely what lies at the heart of democracy, our shared willingness to defend principles of popular rule, even though we disagree. Exactly. My entire life, okay, that guy won the election. Let me just forget about the election until the next one. That's what you need to do in life. Get on with shit. Otherwise, you spend all your time bitching and complaining and nothing gets done. At a time when democracy is under threat, it is more important than ever to defend this common ground. Venezuela has evolved from a relatively democratic and prosperous country to a brutal authoritarian state that is now suffering a humanitarian and economic crisis. Most Venezuelans live in deep poverty, even as the few at the top enrich themselves. The violent machinery of the state is directed against the country's own citizens. Nearly 8 billion, I almost said billion. Nearly 8 million people have left the country. The opposition has been systematically suppressed by means of election rigging, legal prosecution, and imprisonment. And Donald Trump's sitting there going, notes, no. As a founder of Sumate, an organization devoted to the democratic development, Ms. Machado stood up for free and fair elections more than 20 years ago. And she said, It was a choice of ballots over bullets in political office, and her service to organizations since Ms. Machado has spoken out for judicial independence, human rights, and popular representation. She has spent years working for the freedom of Venezuelan people. Ahead of the election of 24, Ms. Machado was the opposition's presidential candidate, but the regime blocked her candidacy. She then backed the representative of a different party, Edmundo Gonzalez Urrutia, in the election. Hundreds of thousands of volunteers mobilized across political divides. They were trained as elections observers to ensure transparent and fair election. Despite the risk of harassment, arrest, and torture, citizens across the country held watch over polling stations. They made sure the final tallies were documented before the regime could destroy ballots and lie about the outcome. The efforts of the collective opposition, both before and during the election, were innovative and brave, peaceful and democratic. The opposition received international support when its leaders publicized the vote counts that had been collected from the country's election districts, showing that the opposition had won by a clear margin, but the regime refused to accept the election result and clung to power. Diaper Donnie, be proud. Democracy is a precondition for lasting peace. However, we live in a world where democracy is in retreat, where more and more authoritarian regimes are challenging norms and resorting to violence. The Venezuelan regime's rigid hold on power and its repression of the population are not unique to the world. We see the same trends globally: rule of law abused by those in control, free media silence, critics in prison, society's push towards authoritarian rule, and militarization. In 2024, more elections were held than ever before, but fewer and fewer are free and fair. In its long history, the Norwegian Nobel Committee has honored brave women and men who stood up to repression, who have carried the hope of freedom in prison cells on the streets of public squares, and who have shown by their actions that peaceful resistance can change the world. In the past year, Ms. Machado has been forced to live in hiding. Despite serious threats against her life, she remained in the country, a choice that has inspired millions of people. When authoritarians seize power, it is crucial to recognize courageous defenders of freedom who rise and resist. Democracy depends on people who refuse to stay silent, who dare to step forward despite grave risks, and remind us that freedom must never be taken for granted, but must always be defended with works, with courage, and with determination. Maria Corina Machado meets all three criteria stated in Alfred Nobel's will for the selection of the Peace Prize laureate. She has brought her country's opposition together. She has never wavered in resisting the militarization of Venezuelan society. She has been steadfast in her support for a peaceful transition to democracy. Maria Conchito Alonso. Maria Corina Machado has shown that the tools of democracy are also the tools of peace. She embodies the hope of a different future, one where fundamental rights of citizens are protected and their voices are heard in the future. People will finally be free to live in peace. Don't miss the Nobel Prize announcements, 6 through 13 October. So we're done on this on Monday. Monday will be the last day. We can do a review then, huh? So there's your story. We are going to do, here's the categories, actually, if you wanted to know the total categories that they go by. They have physics, chemistry, medicine, literature, peace, and economic sciences. So I'm thinking the economic sciences will be your last one on Monday.
Yeah, I think they usually are, aren't they?
Let's have your, yeah. Well, I don't know, man. What am I,
I know they've
I'm
already
not the arbiter of all
announced the
things,
literature one, right?
I thought they were in Sweden, right? I thought so I don't know.
We talk about it every year and somehow we still mess it up.
Yeah. I got a legitimate excuse. I'm old and forgetful.
Yeah, I just don't think about things once I've talked about them.
Well,
So
works
why
for
did
me.
the Scarecrow win a Nobel Prize?
He forgot.
He was standing in his field.
Oh no! Oh, I thought you meant the scarecrow from.
No, he was outstanding in his field. He was outstanding. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the scarecrow from the Wizard of Oz. He was outstanding in his field. That's an old joke from Laughing.
Which professor was good enough to win the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2019?
I don't know.
Professor Goodenough.
Oh, is he related to Boris Badenov?
It's a real guy. This is real. It's not even. It's an actor. University of Chicago alum John B. Goodenough shares Nobel Prize for invention of lithium-ion battery. That's a real man.
Great name.
Good
Great
enough?
name. I said, is he related to Boris Badenoff? You know what Boris Badenoff is, right?
He's the guy who invented the lithium battery. It's crazy. Anyways, that's...
Oh, no.
Do you have another
Boris
story?
Badenoff. Boris Badenoff. You know who that is, right? Boris Badenoff?
No, I don't.
The Bullwinkle cartoon. He was the spy, the name of the spy.
Okay.
Boris and Natasha. We'll get squirrel. Moose and squirrel.
Right,
Moose and
Cold
squirrel.
War era,
Boris
animals.
Badenoff.
Yeah. You have another story?
No, I don't.
Okay, then it's the wheel time. Roll the wheel, roll the wheel. Why are you doing that? You look dead. People can see you right now, by the way, just in case.
Stretching my neck. I sent you a video.
Accurate metaphor, simile. All right, I'll look at that video. I'll try to remember this video after my story. We're going to be talking about my culture news. And good news, guys. Dolly Parton isn't dead. Not that she ever died.
No?
This is by David Morquand on Your News Culture. Country music legend Dolly Parton has posted a video to reassure fans that she ain't dead yet after her sister raised rumors of her ill health. Dolly Parton's sister Frida raised fears this week when she posted a message on social media, which I will read now. We must report the slander. It's not really slander, but it goes like this. Last night I was up all night praying for my sister Dolly. Many of you know she hasn't been feeling her best lately. I truly believe in the power of prayer, and I've been led to ask all the world that loves her to be prayer warriors and pray with me. She's strong, she's loved, with all the prayers being lifted for her, I know in my heart she's going to be just fine. Godspeed, my sister Dolly. We all love you. That's the message she sent. Dolly Parton, 79, recently postponed her Las Vegas residency, telling What did you say?
I said, oh, way to go, sis. I already said that to myself, you know.
She wrote, Dolly Parton, 79, recently postponed her Las Vegas residency, telling fans that she was facing several health challenges. The 9 to 5 and Jolene singer was due to perform 6 shows at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace in December, but postponed the gigs until December of 2026. So a whole year. She's taking a whole year break. In an updated post yesterday, Frida clarified her original statement, saying she didn't mean to scare anyone or make it sound so serious when asking for prayers for Dolly. Doubling down, Dolly has posted a video to reassure her fans. I know lately everybody thinks I'm sicker than I am, she said in a video from the set of Grand Ole Opry commercial. Do I look sick to you? I'm working hard here. She continues. Anyways, I wanted to put everybody's mind at ease. Those of you that seem to be real concerned, which I appreciate, and I appreciate your prayers because I'm a person of faith. As I mentioned back when my husband Carl was very sick, that was for a long time. And then, when he passed, I didn't take care of myself. So I let a lot of things go that I should have been taken care of, she said. So anyway, when I got down to it, the doctor said, we need to take care of this. And we need to take care of that. Nothing major, but I did have to cancel some things so I could be closer to home. Closer to Vanderbilt, you know, where I'm kind of having a few treatments here and there. Oh, she's going to have a lot of treatments, I guess, for the next year.
And she went on to say, I'm sick, all right. I'm sick of jackasses spreading rumors about me. Back to you.
I mean, she's 79, almost 80,
she would never
right?
say that.
You're going to have some health issues,
that.
You know, hips maybe. She wears heels a lot, you know, her bunions. Maybe she has scoliosis from... there's a lot of things. Women, when they go through menopause, they lose bone density, for example. That's something that
you have never seen Dolly Parton's hair. You have never seen her hair ever.
Yeah, maybe she wears wigs. Maybe she's bald.
She has always worn wigs. Yeah. Her entire famous life, she's worn a blonde wig. That's not her hair. But she admits it. She's a makeup maven, right? She's a total diva. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
There's not really anything else to say. Well, I guess we can talk about what she's talking about, which is, it has been a tough year for Dolly Parton. In March, her husband of nearly 60 years, Carl Thomas Dean, died at 82. Following his death, country music legend said that she had put writing new songs on hold to cope with the loss. She did, however, release the movie single, If You Hadn't Been There, a tribute song left to her husband. In brighter news, as part of the 70th anniversary celebrations, Guinness World Records honored Dolly as one of their icons in August. The company gave her a certificate presented to her at our studio in Nashville, Tennessee, celebrating the fact that she holds 11 record-breaking titles. These include the most consecutive decades with the top 10 album entries on the Billboard Country Chart, most studio albums released by a female country singer, and most Grammy nominations for a female country artist. Parton was also the first country singer to be nominated for an EGOT, an Emmy, a Grammy, Oscar, and a Tony, aka the Grand Slam of show business. Craig Glenday, editor-in-chief at Guinness World Records, said, "Dolly is undoubtedly one of the most celebrated writers and performers in the history of country music, as reflected in her many Guinness World Records certificates, where her reach and influence extends far beyond the musical world." Indeed, Parton's charitable and philanthropic work include Dollywood Foundation, founded in 1988. The Institute champions the education of children in our home state of Tennessee. As for a literacy initiative, Dolly Parton's Imagination Library has distributed more than 285 million books globally since 1995. So she's a great woman, living it out in Tennessee, and she's gotten on in the years. This happens,
Yeah,
she's trying to keep her head up.
I remember Dolly
She probably even got sicker when her husband died, right? Because, like she said, she stopped taking care of herself. Maybe she got stress-induced sicknesses and stuff, and they need to nip it in the bud now.
Yep. Dolly Parton is like that aunt who makes that really good raspberry pie, all right? And you don't like raspberry pie, right? But you like Dolly's.
Yeah. You can't say no to a Dolly Parton pie.
Yeah. It's a metaphor for country music. It's like when I was a kid.
You're doing your metaphor.
Country music.
I was also
I'm not explaining it for you. I'm explaining it for the listeners that we have. Like, you can get that metaphor.
No, we should trust our listeners to be smart and understand the metaphors. And if they don't understand them, you can comment in the comment on our video asking, "What the hell did you mean by that?" Roger will spend all day answering all your questions about metaphors.
That's right. Having spent my formative adult formative years in the Marine Corps, I know you got to explain shit all the time. So, my other thing was, I remember Dolly Parton. My first experience with Dolly Parton was a towel saleswoman on the Porter Wagoner show. So they would sell.
Really?
Yeah, she was a Porter Wagoner. That was her star. In fact, she wrote that song, "I Will Always Love You," or the one that Whitney Houston sang. She wrote that about. She wrote that about Porter Wagoner when she was leaving the show. Like, "I really love you, Porter. You gave me my start, but I'm Dolly, or whatever." But she was not really that famous, but she was on that. My mom watched that show, the Porter Wagoner show, and the only commercials they had, no commercials. It was the commercials where Porter Wagoner and Dolly Parton, they were selling this big, gigantic box of detergent, like Breeze. It's called Breeze. Might still be around, but Dolly Parton. But the reason it was so big because it came with a bath towel. Yeah, you bought detergent, it came with a friggin' bath towel. All of our bath towels in the house were from Dolly Parton.
Thanks, Dolly, for the bath
Anyway, that's my Dolly
towels.
Parton story. Yeah. And these are beautiful bath towels. And she would say, "But you can't buy them. You can only get them in boxes of Breeze." That's how I know my Dolly accent is.
Yeah. Something that everyone needs, a bath towel, and put it inside of the actual thing you want to sell.
And Johnny Carson saw the size of her personality and put her on TV because, he lives a life.
You know that meme. She's got a big, beautiful personality.
Yeah, I was thinking about watching Twin Peaks tonight. Does anybody? Anyway.
All right, let's get our next.
Again, Dolly was a meme for being physically gifted.
This day in history.
Before her real talents were appreciated. Anyway, sorry.
Sadly, that is how it works for a lot of people, right? She sure is beautiful. Yeah, and she can also do other things too. Fun fact.
And she never stopped being Dolly. Never stopped being Dolly. This day in history.
And this day in history, something we can pretend never happened or did something a different way. I don't know.
Well, first we're going to do Rocktober.
Of course.
Special Rocktober editions. It's the 10th of October. We're going to go all the way back to 1902 What happened in 1902? Rock and roll didn't exist. You're right. But one of those things that was necessary for rock and roll to exist happened in 1902 as soon as we find it here. I went past it. Back to 1902, the Gibson Mandolin and Guitar Company was formed. The Gibson Mandolin and Guitar Company was formed. Gibson's first electric guitar, the ES 150, was produced in 1936, and in 1946, Gibson introduced the P90 single coil pickup, which was eventually used on the first Les Paul model made in 1952. So Gibson, if they would never been invented, there never would have been a Les Paul, there never would have been pickups for guitars that could send that audio onto an amplifier. Happy anniversary to the Gibson Mandolin and Guitar Company. 1939, the real Eleanor Rigby died in her sleep of unknown causes at the age of 44. The
Eleanor
1966
Rigby died in her sleep and nobody knows where she had been.
She died in her sleep of unknown causes, which again is very sad. She was 44. The 1966 Beatles song that featured her name wasn't written about her, as Paul McCartney's first draft of the song named the character Miss Daisy Hawkins. Eleanor Rigby's tombstone was noticed in the 1980s in the graveyard of St. Peter's Parish Church in Woolton, Liverpool, a few feet from where McCartney and Lennon had met for the first time in 1957. So it's a hell of a coincidence. He got it off a gravestone, and it probably just didn't register in his mind until later. 1956, Elvis Presley, Love Me Tender, arrived at number 19. We'll skip over that. It's not a big thing. Here's one.
Yeah, the song
1959. That's the song. Oh, this one. One of Elvis's 4,000 hits reached the charts. It's not a big deal. The Quarrymen played at the Casbah Coffee Club, Liverpool, and Ken Brown, who could have been famous. You know, Ken Brown just would have been a nice guy, suffering from a heavy cold and was unable to perform after the show. An argument started when Paul McCartney said that Brown should not get his share of performance since he did not perform. Lennon and Harrison sided with McCartney, and Brown quits the Quarrymen and went to live with Pete Best. No, he didn't do that.
He went to.
So one guy he got the boot. They got Stuart Sutcliffe, actually. I think that was the next guy they got. 1964, the Beatles, during UK tour, appeared at Dante Hall, de Montfort Hall in Leicester. Ringo Starr drove himself to the venue after delivery of a brand new Facel Vega, apparently reaching speeds of 140 miles per hour. That's interesting. It's not really that interesting. Let's go a lot farther forward in history to 1978. Joe Perry and Steven Tyler from Aerosmith were injured after a cherry bomb was thrown on stage during a gig in Philadelphia. Oh, good old Philadelphia, trying to kill people from the audience. The group performed behind a safety fence for the rest of the tour. Not just Philadelphia. Oh, the whole country's Philadelphia.
Oh,
no,
wow.
No, we're not Philadelphia.
Did any explain why, or it was just some troll, I guess? Some bored troll?
I don't know. Who wants shit flying at them out of the dark, you know? Yeah. You're up there with lights in your face. You can't see shit. All of a sudden, a freaking bomb comes flying in his face.
I'm just saying you can... Like, nobody said, I did it, and I did it because I hate those guys. Like, nobody came out yet.
Right. At a rock concert. Anyway, 1980 was a sad day as the funeral took place of Led Zeppelin's drummer, John Bonham. Bonzo was found dead at guitar Jimmy Page's house of what was described as asphyxiation after inhaling his own vomit after excessive vodka consumption. 40 shots in 4 hours. Aged 32, John Bonham doing something really stupid and killing himself. So it had his funeral today, 45 years ago. So there's your Rocktober events. Let's get on to this.
Alcoholism problems, please seek help. Please seek your local, Alcoholics Anonymous. And do not be like
Jimmy
him.
Page. Jimmy Page's house. Jimmy Page, of course, led the world in not giving a fuck about anybody but himself in 1980 because he was hooked on smack. He was probably passed out himself. 1846, English astronomer William Lassell discovered Triton, the largest satellite of the planet Neptune. Good for him. 1846, people still didn't have TVs, so they would have all kinds of time for this stuff. 1911, a group of revolutionaries launched an uprising.
You're blaming TVs for the fact we don't discover any new
Well, they had TV, but the shows were really based, right? It was just like a guy talking to his dog. How interesting is that, right? A group of revolutionaries launched an uprising in Wuchang, China, which many regard as the formal beginning of the Chinese Revolution, a nationalist democratic revolt that overthrew the Qing dynasty, or however you say it, Q. I think it's the Qing dynasty, or the Qing.
It's Q, right? It's
Qing. Xing. Okay, whatever. 1917, American pianist Thelonious Monk was born, among the first creators of modern jazz. Not an old-fashioned jazz for him. 1935, George Gershwin's opera Porgy and Bess opened in Broadway. I saw the takeoff of it, Porky and Bess, featuring Porky Pig. That was really funny. It was a Saturday Night Live skit. 1956, the American classic Giant had its world premiere. The saga was especially notable for being the last movie of James Dean, who died in a car accident shortly after filming was completed. It also featured Elizabeth Taylor and, what's his ass? I forgot his name. 1963, the British spy film From Russia with Love premiered in London. The second film of the James Bond franchise is considered one of the best in the series. They kind of all run together for me. Happy birthday to Brett Favre today. He's born in 1969, turning 55. I wonder if he's making a comeback this year. No, sorry, 56. I can't do math. American gridiron football player Brett Favre, who broke all major NFL career passing records as quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, only owns one of those records anymore, and that is the most interceptions thrown, which I don't think that can possibly be broken. Right? To Brett Favre, everybody was always open. If I could just throw it hard enough, my guy's gonna catch it. Didn't always work. 1970, Fiji gained independence from Great Britain. Congratulations to Fiji. They've been producing great golfers ever since, like BJ Singh. 1973, Vice President Spiro Agnew resigned from office and pleaded guilty to no contest to a charge of failing to report $29,500 in income while governor of Maryland. That's what he pleaded guilty to. He was actually accused of and actually was taking bribes in the basement of the White House in big sacks of money. And I'm not making that up. He was actually taking bribes. It's called influence peddling, but they dropped all the charges just to make him resign.
Big sacks of money.
Which I don't know why we continue to make deals with these rich white criminals instead of sending them to prison and sending a message, which is, stop selling our government. Stop settling your influence, you criminal. He had paid no penalty, only had to resign. So nothing happened to him. 1979, Canadian hockey player Wayne Gretzky made his NHL debut with the Edmonton Oilers, still all-time leading scorer, probably never be caught. 1985, American filmmaker Orson Welles died at the age of 70. If you don't know what Orson Welles is, he produced Citizen Kane, one of the most influential movies of all time. He also created a big old hysteria, and I think it was 1939, with War of the Worlds on the radio, where everybody thought we were getting invaded by Martians. He narrated that, and it was a book written by H.G. Wells, and they're not even related, which is crazy. In 1845, founding the U.S. Naval Academy took place to improve the then unsatisfactory methods of instructing midshipmen. George Bancroft, historian, educator, and Secretary of the Navy, found the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland, on this day in 1845. Our future biography is Giuseppe Verdi, Italian composer, the opera writing guy. Born October 9th, 1813, or October 10th, we're not sure. It was one of them long deliveries in Liron, Italy, and he died in Milan in 1901. So he had a nice long run of 80-some years. Not doing the math well. Looks like 88 years. Other birthdays today, we got R.K. Narayan, Indian author, born in 1906. Thelonious Monk, we did. Harry Pinter, British dramatist, born in 1930. Nora Roberts, American novelist. I'm sorry?
The name is funny.
Harold Pinter? Or is it Pinter? Maybe he's a drunk, right? I would pronounce this pinter, right? Because probably just turns up a few pints a day, right? 1950, Nora Roberts' birthday. So she's turning, 75? Happy birthday to her. Brett Favre, we already did in National Day calendar. There's only a couple of things. Strange for a Friday. It's National Metric Day. I'd walk a kilometer for a camel. National Walk to a Park Day. So walk a kilometer to a park. Any park. A car park. Hey, that counts, right? National Handbag Day. Handbag Day. Yeah. You have a bag and it's in your hand. That's a handbag, which is very fitting for Spiro T. Agnew, who was taking, hand-sized bags of cash to sell his influence in the government because he was a vice president. Yeah, right there on spot. National Cake Decorating Day and National Angel Food Cake Day. That's not an accident, I don't think. So it's 2 cake days, and those are all your days for today. Your mispronunciations, your haikus, your Nobel Prizes, your silliness for October 10th, 2025 on Before Angel Food Cake.
Delicious. Okay.
Sounds good, right? And decorate it. Don't forget to decorate it.
Don't forget the what?
Don't forget to decorate your angel food cake. It is National Cake Decorating Day also. So.
Oh, yeah. I wish I could be good at decoration, but I'm mostly just good at the baking bit. I think I'm not artistic enough for the decorating bit.
Yeah. At least you can eat it when you're done and you don't have to worry about it anymore, right?
That's true. That's true. All right. In my hypothetical, I guess, imagine what would have happened if Wayne Gretzky never played hockey. How different will the sport be now?
It'd probably be more goonish. I think it'd be more goonish than anything, I would think. Wayne Gretzky was a little guy, right? So he had a lot of protectors. So the team had some just goons in there. If you laid a hand on Wayne Gretzky, you got annihilated. They didn't mind beating the shit out of you either. They would beat the shit. You get the guy in a fight and get him thrown out of the game.
Leave our small guy alone.
Okay. Get them in a fight, both get a 5-minute penalty, and it all equals out. But yeah, hockey is kind of a goon sport. As George Carlin called hockey, it's 3 activities, right? It's skating, playing with a puck, and beating the shit out of somebody. It's 3 different activities, not a sport. Skating, playing with a puck, and beating the shit out of somebody.
All right.
Anyway, sorry.
Well, it's also still the last day of World Space Week, which is very fitting because a NASA balloon fell out of the sky and landed in somebody's wheat field. It's also World Mental Health Day for the WHO. So that's right. The hidden killer. I'm gonna applaud that. One of the hidden killers, mental health. You can see if somebody has heart disease, but you can't see if somebody's depressed, at least not so accurately as you would think. So celebrate Mental Health Day. Make sure you take some time for yourself, right? Don't get burned out. Don't let those intrusive thoughts, tell you that you're a worthless scum that doesn't deserve to be on the planet. Every life deserves to be here because there's nothing to define why you deserve to be here. And fight that depression. See the good news that is coming your way this Tuesday, and take care of your mental health. Everybody has value. Tomorrow, it's World Migratory Bird Day, so you've got our geese, our ducks, even monarch butterflies, right? Everything is flying away to the warmer pastures tomorrow, and if you miss it, you're stuck for the rest of the winter. Or at least that's how the birds will treat it as. You've got several different flyways. You've got the American flyway, the African Eurasian flyway, and the East Asian Australian flyway. So just think it north to south, right? It's summertime every Canadian in Australia. Goose, it's time to go to Australia.
And every Canadian goose in the world comes to Maryland for the winter and just shits all over everything. So yay! Anyway, good.
And all the geese are leaving here and going to Spain or something. I think I don't know where the geese go here, but you hear them, right? This is the time of year where you hear the geese going wah, 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 past your window.
Oh yeah,
on their way to wherever
they're making that big V in the sky. When I was a kid, the big V in the sky told me that summer was over. At least in Canada, it was over.
I agree. I think it is like the final. Like even the birds are leaving. It's also International Day of Girl Child. So, as you probably have heard, in a lot of countries, girl children are thrown in the trash can, literally. They're seen as, a cost. They're not going to carry on your legacy or whatever. And so they're treated like third-class citizens in certain countries. So,
and men are least valuable to genetics.
According to this, 133 million girls don't even get to go to school. Keep them dumb, keep them stupid, and don't give them any. Don't let them know they have any rights. That's how you keep the patriarchy going. 15 to 19 adolescent girls are less likely to not get an education than their male counterparts. Almost 4 in 10 adolescent girls do not finish secondary school, and nearly 1 in 4 ever married or partnered adolescent girls aged 15 to 19 have experienced. Okay, that's a really weird sentence. 1 in 4 girls who've ever been in a relationship with anybody will experience partner violence in their lifetimes. 1 in 4. So you probably know a handful of women who've experienced violence in their lifetime. Just for the fucked up world we live in, I guess. But I know it's not a very happy thing to end the show on, but that's all the days that will be happening on Saturday, nothing on Sunday. So keep all that stuff in mind. Your mental health, migratory birds, and girls that are children. We will see you. Oh, wait. This has been Allison from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the U.S. as we finish up another week of this year, another Friday news dump. We will see you tomorrow on Monday for Mucking Fun Day. So we can tell you all the news you missed over the weekend, so you don't have to worry about the news. Please do not bother yourself with doom scrolling over the weekend. Do something you like. Do something that makes you happy. And if doom scrolling makes you happy, because of World Mental Health Day, go see a therapist. Don't forget to subscribe and follow if you're not already, so you're here for Mucking Fun Day and for when we post this episode later. Turn on that notification bell either on Twitch or YouTube so you get notified when we go live. Post a video. You can support the show on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. So you can also do that. And here is our mic drop moment.
The service was at the tiny
the Midlands.
It's not very loud. Not the loudest volume in the world, but it's from 1980. So
Eleanor Rigby was in the Midlands today, and she died in her sleep.
Apart from the other members of the band,
no, this is John Bonham.
Plant and John Paul Jones, it was just family and friends who
45 years ago today.
There were, though, the tributes from John's contemporaries. This giant
the first John of the 1980s died. John Lennon died 2 months later.
Superstar, but to us, just son. Although the time and place
got murdered more like, but yeah.
Some fans were there too.
Oh.
Could I just interrupt you all? Why are you here?
John Bonham murdered.
Wow, look at these guys.
Where are you all
this is the 80s, you say?
This is 1980, 45 years ago. It even has the
I wouldn't need that
date right on it.
Tagline on the screen to know that it's the 80s.
Led Zeppelin can go on.
Look at that round number, though. Isn't that sort of a
it's very pleasing to see.
anomaly?
10, 80.
Statistical anomaly. Doesn't happen that often.
The other members of Led Zeppelin left
a day, month, and year that end in 0.
Well, hopefully he rests in peace in wherever he goes.
In the 80s.
It wasn't John Bonham, superstar they said goodbye to here today.
Jumped in the vodka lake.
Midlands.
Family man who sought and enjoyed the peace.
And Led Zeppelin was done
His family
because John Bonham was the Led Zeppelin song.
Not rock music, but traditional Crimmon. And it wasn't
another
John
reason why
Bonham's
they would never
superstar,
have
but
a
the vicar, the
reunion,
Norman Atty
like a real reunion,
but
right?
John
Because he
Bonham,
died.
local farmer who did much to
They've had concerts, but they never toured.
Yeah, I remember in like the 2000s, they're like, "Oh, Led Zeppelin returns!" Like they're missing.
And people forget how totally messed up Jimmy Page was at the time in 1980, right? Their last.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.